Hello everyone and welcome back. If you can tell by my hair, you probably know, maybe by the title, but probably more the hair. We are reviewing the Rebel Witch book by Kelly Ann Maddox, and I was getting ready and I was like, you know what? I don't even think you can see this one. I have these clip-in hair pieces and I thought between my black, my blonde, and the blue, I will absolutely match this cover, so let's go for it. I haven't worn these blue pieces yet. Thought it'd be festive. So, yes, today I am reviewing the Rebel Witchy book, and I haven't done a book review before, so please bear with me if I don't sound like what book reviews sound like, because I try to do research and be like, what do you do in a book review besides just talk? So I hope this is good. So if you guys don't know anything about this book, this is Rebel Witch, Carve the Craft That's Yours Alone by Kelly Ann Maddox. And I'll read you what how her little bio says. It says, Kelly Ann Maddox is a practicing Rebel Witch, award-winning tarot reader and spiritual counselor, seeking to inspire others by finding their sovereign spiritual path. Her work draws on her own experiences of recovery and rejuvenation through witchcraft. You can find her website at kelly-annmaddox.com. So I saw this book on Instagram, all over YouTube, and you guys know me, I love my books. And so I was like, ooh, another witch book. And it was pretty hyped, so I was like, gonna pre-order it, but I didn't end up doing that. And then I happened to see it at my bookstore, my local bookstore. So I was like, okay, this is a sign, get it for the tube, like read it and do a little review. And what I didn't know until I opened the book is that Kelly Ann Maddox is actually a YouTuber here. So I thought that was so cool, and that made me even more excited because I absolutely love supporting my witchy spiritual community here on YouTube. And so I was just like, this is 10 times more cool now. So I have not watched her YouTube channel, and I obviously didn't know about her before, so my views are very, very unbiased. Whereas with my Harmony Nice book, of course, I was like, I love Harmony. I don't think I could have given that a review without being super biased because I absolutely love Harmony Nice. And I'm sure Kelly Ann Maddox is super cool, and I definitely think she probably is after reading this book. So I will go ahead and give you guys like the book specs, a bit about the book, what I liked, what I didn't necessarily love, and kind of like my overall view, my overall rating, what I thought, who I thought might like this, and etc. So let's go ahead and jump into that. I always forget to say, but please subscribe if you do like this video, and like and comment if you like. Ooh. You can also be friends with me over at Patreon and listen to my podcast where I do podcast episodes every Friday if I'm not depressed. So looking at the book specs, this is separated in, it's 253 pages, which is a bit on the bigger side for your like intro to witchy books. So I was really intrigued by that, and it felt very, just very like it'd be like immersive and like very in-depth. So that was very intriguing to me. And there are 22 chapters which are separated into 3 different sections. The first part is called Let's Begin, and this is the basics, talking about what is a witch, what is witchcraft, and a lot of that like getting to know yourself and what you'll want to do in your path as a witch. And part 2 is Make It Happen, which is where she gets more into like the nitty gritty a bit and talks about, your casting your circle, your, getting into rituals and spells, and just more of your like intro stuff. And part 3, the last chapter, is called Let's Keep Going. Not chapter, there's 22 chapters, but the last part. And this is when it gets into this super interesting stuff, in my opinion, because it talks about ethics, shadow work, and a lot more of the advanced techniques. And I don't want to get like too far ahead of myself, but based off that, I just do want to say that I really liked that it was very easy I would assume it'd be very easy for beginners because there is a lot of information. She doesn't jump into anything just expecting you to know, what casting a circle is or whatever. So it's very, very intro easy, I think. But it also, as you go, there's a lot of interesting things that even advanced witches will be interested to learn. And also, even being a witch for a while now, even reading the beginning chapters, the way she would say some things, and like I'll get into this in a bit when I talk about like her vibe in it, it kind of helped me see things from a different viewpoint, which doesn't often happen. So I thought that was very, very impressive because she really did an amazing job of getting even people who are confident and well practiced in their craft to step back and look at something different and ask really thought-provoking questions about how they're practicing. So I'll get more into that in a second. I am definitely getting ahead of myself, but I'm just kind of excited to talk to you guys about this. And it is a $25 book. This was not sent to me. I did buy this, like I said. So yeah, 25, it's a bit more expensive than I would usually pay. I usually like used books quite a bit just because I like the energy behind them. But this is a very, big book. It's like 250 pages. So, I mean, it's bigger, and it's nice. Let's talk about the art, okay? Let's talk about the art. So the artist is named Jenny Lloyd, and I will link her Instagram down below. This was probably the first thing that made me step back and look at this book differently than just any other book on the market for witchcraft, because this cover is so sexy. Like, I saw this and I was like, hoo, damn. And then when I saw it in person, I was even more so just like, this color scheme is gorgeous. The artwork is beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's so good. And she designs the chapter pages, which I'll pull up for you. So each of the parts starts with this beautiful artwork right here and like a little statement of power or affirmation, if you will. And I just thought it was so pretty. I was just like, damn, it's just nice. It's a little thing and it's nice. Aesthetically, this is for real a 10 out of 10 for me. And obviously that's not like the most important thing when reviewing a book, but it is important to me. I am an artist. I am very, very fond of art. I love it. And it's so beautiful. And I absolutely just so enthralled by this. And it's so captivating. I was just very, very happy about the art. So absolute shout out to Jenny Lloyd. You are awesome. And I'm going to go follow her because I don't follow her yet. And I think I'd like her a lot. So to give you a basic idea of what the book is about, it is very, at its core, it is an intro to witchcraft that elaborates a bit more than I'd say the average intro to witchcraft book does, because it does touch on ethics and shadow work and a bit more of those advanced practices. And it does such a great job of covering so many different things. Now, I'll talk about this a bit later, but it just goes into different types of magic, different ways of having an altar. It goes into many, many different things that you will not always see in just like a basic intro to witchcraft book. So she does an amazing job of really capturing a lot of different things, even if it is brief. You see that with the 22 chapters, like there is a lot she's going over. Another thing that I think, while at its core it is an intro to witchcraft book, I think even more so what its like mission is to get these beginner witches or even advanced witches to think about their craft in a very authentic way and very outside of the box, which witchcraft is already kind of outside of the box, but the way she says things, there were so many times where I was like, why did I not think of that? Why did I not think I could do that? Like, why did I put myself in this box? Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm an eccentric person, and I'm all about being unapologetically authentic. So it's something I strive to do, but it even made me realize my blind spots in my own craft, my own practices, and just my day-to-day life, where I was constricting myself to limiting beliefs or ideas of what this needs to look like, or, just certain things like that. So I think that seems to be the core of this book's mission. That makes sense. It is, she says, carve the craft that's yours alone. And she truly, truly does that. Okay, this really, really dives you into thinking about your craft in your own way and taking the bones of what witchcraft is and then really like deciding how you want to take that, what you want to take, what you want to leave, and you know, making it yours. So I think that's what it feels like her mission is with this book. So I thought that was super unique because there are so many intro to witchcraft books, and they can be very similar, where they're just, you know, this is witchcraft, this is cool, this is how you do that. And I love that, but I really, really appreciated that this book would, you know, if that's how other witchcraft books act, this book is saying more, these are some ideas. You don't have to do this. You can do something absolutely bonkers. You can do something completely different. As long as you like it and it feels, you know, authentic and good for you, then just do that. You have no obligation to do any of these things. So I liked that. I liked that it was kind of freeing in that way. So I already, you know, I'm rambling. But one thing I do want to mention is at the end of each chapter, and there are a lot, there are 22 chapters. At the end of each chapter, she has a write it and a try it section where it gives you time to reflect on what you've just kind of read about and options to journal about something or to try something new, you know, in regards to what you've learned. And I thought that was, first of all, very interesting, like very exciting. I thought that was a good job on her part on getting the reader really engaged in the material. And I really like journaling and I like reflecting on things I've read. And so I appreciated that a lot. And I have not done all the prompts, and I don't think I will do all the prompts because a lot of them I'm just like, I don't need to write this. I already know how I feel. But there are some very intriguing ones that I do plan on going back and doing because I was reading this hoping to get it done pretty soon so that I can talk to you guys about it, but I am going to go back and do a lot of the prompts, and I have some pages marked in my notes that tell me which ones I'm very excited about. Kind of like I said before, I really appreciate that she does allow this space to be accessible for people literally starting out like today. And honestly, the beginning kind of feels a little bit Virgo energy to me because it's almost like, are you thinking about being a witch? Here are some things to think about before you start your craft. What do you think you want your craft to look like? And it's like planning to become a witch, which feels very Virgo to me. I just think that's kind of funny. And I think a lot of people will benefit from that if you're, you know, newly interested in it and you don't know if it's your thing. Then I think that's really beneficial and gives you a lot of time to really, really dive into what your beliefs are. And it goes even more advanced into, like I said, shadow work and different types of magic, like glamour magic and whatnot. And so it is very entertaining, even for witches who have been doing the thing for a while. So let me go into what I liked, okay? The first thing I want to mention is that Kelly Ann Maddox really makes this an inclusive space, and I love that. From like page 4, okay, she mentions like not feeling, oh god, let me get it. I don't want to butcher what she says. So she talks about how she has seen it suggested that witches should do long meditations, and then she acknowledges that that might not be possible for someone with ADHD or like lots of small children or something. And as somebody with ADHD, I was like, hey, she sees me there. She sees me. And that is very, very like validating and refreshing because I know a lot of neurodivergent witches are, you know, a bit insecure that they cannot do, you know, visualizations for a very, very long time because that's not how our brains are always working. That was just my personal connection to her inclusivity that she provided in this space, but she talks about trans witches, she talks about, you know, just all different types of people and, you know, preferences and things like that. And she just makes it a very, very open, welcoming space, which is something that I think the witchy community needs. And I'm not saying that we don't have that, we definitely do. But I think, you know, having it so vocally present is really, really good. And she also talks about ethics a whole lot and environment. So I'm just like, it felt very good. It felt very woke. I hate that word, but I mean, it did feel truly like activist and like the most genuine like way of the word. You know, she purposely does not talk about smudging and totem animals and those things that are connected more so to closed practices that are so often appropriated. And there's a whole little section on cultural appropriation and just becoming aware of it and researching it for yourself. And it's nice because she doesn't tell you what to do or what to think with anything throughout her book. She just says, hey, maybe check this out because this is kind of a thing going on. So, do your research. And I thought that was very good on her part. She made the reader aware without making, a whole thing for people to get upset about or whatever. So I really enjoyed that, but the inclusivity of it was really, really refreshing. Really enjoyed that because truly I haven't seen a whole lot of that in witchy books. And I think this is so representative of, witchcraft and spirituality of our current time, because a lot of the books that I've read are not, new releases. They're more past couple of years, even back to like the 70s. A wide range, but this is the first book that I've read that feels genuinely in this time period, and is really trying to, be as inclusive for everyone as possible. Kind of like I said before, another really great thing that I loved about this book was how she kind of allows you and guides you to think of your witchy tasks in different ways. For example, there was one time when she talks about deities and just beings that you work with or you really take inspiration from. And she mentioned that she has like a little shrine, a little altar to Freddie Mercury. And I just stopped and I was like, why have I not felt like I could do that? And, I think subconsciously I feel that way about a lot of my beauty icons and whatnot. And it's just almost like I hadn't integrated it into my craft because it just wasn't laid out for me as an option. And so that happens a number of times throughout where she just kind of allows you to take your brain outside of what you've been necessarily taught, and kind of think of things in a different way and allow yourself to really flow into whatever fits your path the best. And I thought, that's obviously the whole theme of the book, but it was so effective and really exciting as a reader. I've kind of already mentioned this, but I do want to reiterate it, that I do just think that it is very modern, and it's something that I think our new generation of witches, because the community is growing, people are waking up, it's like our whole collective is shifting, so many people are getting into spirituality and witchcraft, and this just feels very important for this new generation. It feels like a very, very good guidebook, and I think guidebook is even too strict of a word. It's really just kind of, I don't know, a nice little friendly friend there to remind you kind of how to really get into your craft. And the last thing I'll mention that I really liked, there is an entire glossary in the back where she mentions, witchy books that she thought were very beneficial on the history of witchcraft, tarot, chaos magic, and a ton of different things. And I thought that was really interesting because, I like books, and so hearing her recommendations was just really nice. And I think that was just a nice addition. I think her tone was also just so friendly and welcoming. It's incredibly informal. She uses a lot of pet names and nicknames to kind of make you feel like you're just friends hanging out, which I think fits the, vibe of this book very well. So moving on to the things that I didn't necessarily love, and I don't even want to say that because I really don't have any complaints about this book, but just the one thing that I would tweak, and I did hear some other people say this as well, and it's not a big thing. There were some times, because this is such an all-encompassing book, where she touches on a subject very briefly, and obviously that's fine. This is kind of an intro book. If you're interested in the glamour magic section, then you can go get a book on glamour magic. If she elaborated as fully as she did with everything, it would be a huge book. Fun, nonetheless, but huge. So I completely understand why she didn't elaborate on things, but, that was my only kind of thing, was just there were some times where I was like, oh, I'd love for you to talk more about that. I even think diving deeper into the ethics, the environmental issues that we're facing right now would have been really exciting, because this is a very, this does feel like a woke kind of book, which I really like. So I do think talking more about cultural appropriation and ethics and things like that would have been nice. I would have liked to read about that a bit more, but I understand not including that. I think she wants this to be very open and not make people feel bad for certain things, but just a thought. It's also very solitary based, which is not really stated. I do think most witches are solitary witches. And it just doesn't talk a whole bunch about coven work. I am also not in a coven. I'm a solitary witch as well, so I don't really know what I would look out for as a coven witch, so I can't really talk on that either. But yeah, these are my thoughts. I really truly love this book a lot. 10 out of 10. I think it was great. I think this is a really, really important book for this new generation that we're going into, and I think she did a really great job of setting the tone, being very friendly and welcoming, and encompassing a wide range of different witchy things, from beginner to advanced. So I think her goal was very clear here, and I think she really perfected it. So yeah, nice job, Kellyanne Maddox, and I do plan on watching some of her videos and learning a bit more about her, because I absolutely love fellow witchy people here on YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time, and make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share it with all your witchy friends, and I will see you later.